Hey there, The Real Matthew Show here. Hope everyone's weekend's going well. Once again, I'm the editor-in-chief for Define Legends. We're a culture and lifestyle magazine based out of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And I'm happy to say that today I'm back for another review, and that's a review of this new Conway the Machine album called Look What I Became. If you don't know who Conway the Machine is, you should definitely look him up. He's a rapper from Buffalo, New York, and he's one half of the owner of Griselda Records, along with his brother Westside Gunn. His cousin Benny the Butcher is also signed to the label, and these three gentlemen have been putting in a lot of work over the past couple of years and have been putting out a lot of great content. In 2017, they got signed to Eminem's label, Shady Records, and just this year, they've also signed a management deal with Jay-Z's Rock Nation. So those are a couple really big moves, but all throughout this time, they've been putting out consistent music, and I started listening to them in 2018, and everything I've heard of them since then, I've liked a lot. And if I had to pick, and I often have debated my head back and forth about this, who my favorite rapper in Griselda would be, if I had to pick now, I would say it's probably Conway, just because the songs I've gone back to most have been his. So the Bread LP by The Alchemist, the song Mac 10 Wounds, that song I just can't stop going back to. Off Everybody Is Food Too, the song Be Proud of Me, I absolutely love that song, love working out to that song, love the sentiment of that song. And then the song we got produced by Derringer with Eminem off of Conway's next album called Bang. That song is an absolute banger, no pun intended. I'm not the biggest Eminem fan, but I thought he had a hilarious verse on that song, and I love Conway's verse on it. I love the beat by Derringer. It's absolutely amazing, one of my favorite beats this year. So back to Griselda. Conway is probably my favorite rapper in Griselda. And because he's been releasing so much good music consistently since I've heard him, I was super excited for this release. I've been waiting for it. And this is the album Look What I Became in September. And then we're going to get another album next month in October called God Don't Make Mistakes. And that's the official Shady debut for Conway the Machine, the first album off of the Shady roster with Griselda. So they signed a Shady in 2017, but this is their first album going to be coming out in 2019. And then they're going to have more albums coming out from Griselda under the Shady banner. So I'm super excited for that. So anyway, Look What I Became. Let's get into it. Of course, with Griselda, you're going to get a certain sound. They have a 90s kind of sound to them. It's very golden age, boom bap, sample based, lots of like dusty soul samples and kind of dark instrumentals. A lot of the content feels kind of similar. I mean, in terms of what they talk about. I mean, they never use the same lines, or the way they say it is always unique, so it's always good as well. But their music, it's not pop music. It's definitely hardcore gangster rap with an East Coast flair to it, but a different East Coast flair to it. It's Buffalo. It's not the Boroughs. It's a little bit slower, a little bit jazzier, but they're very lyrical. They put out a lot of good content. So one of the biggest things about this album and why I liked it so much was that the versatility of it. So we're definitely getting all that stuff I was just talking about, that golden age sound, but we're also getting a few other looks that Conway gave on this album, which shows the versatility of him as an artist. We got the song Half of It, which I'll talk about first. On Half of It, we get like a Southern inspired trap banger that feels very triumphant. We get these organ chords and 808, so it feels very trappy. It's produced by Rick Hyde, so I didn't know he was a producer, but he did a great job on this. And I really like the feeling of the song. I really like the lyrics in the song. I especially like the hook. Conway rhymes everything with half of it, and so the hook is very clever, very smooth. I love his flow in it. The flow of it fits really, really well to the beat, so it feels very comfortable. And I also really like his verses for this song. He talks about a lot of reflective things, looking back on past relationships. I especially like the line, I showed a lot of people love, but that same love never gets reciprocated, even when I put them in position and help them get situated. So I really like that. I really like how he's, looking back very humbly. And it seems like he does this in a lot of his music. It also reminds me of the song Proud of You of Everybody's Food Too, which, like I said, is one of my favorite Conway songs ever. So I really like this song. I really like the content in it. I really like the sound of it. It sounds different. It's trappy. It's not the same sound as what they usually do. It shows the versatility and what he can do. And another song that shows the versatility of what Conway can do is the R&B inspired You Made It. So on this song, we get a kind of an R&B feel to it with a beat by Stag Selector. It has these kind of funky guitar chords and hi-hats, and we get a hook by Amber Simone, which is absolutely beautiful. I also really like the sentiment of this song. This song basically talks about women and the women in Conway's life that he's known that have been struggling, but were strong enough to get through the desperate situations. And Conway basically is thanking them and acknowledging them and saying he's proud of them and how they've been through so much in life but still continue to prosper. So I really like the feeling of this song. It's kind of a dedication to women's strength, and I really enjoyed that. Like I said, these first couple songs were versatile. They're a bit different than what he usually gives us, different looks, and I really appreciated that. So of course in this album we're gonna get the same kind of feeling songs that we do with the majority of the Griselda content. So that golden age boom bap, kind of dark New York lyrical hip hop content, that 90s feeling content. But we get that to the highest level, I feel like, on this album. So we get the first song, the opener, No Women and No Kids, and that's produced by The Alchemist. This song has some of my favorite punchlines and double entendres on this whole album. I think it's like a 5-time double entendre, and salute to the Wu-Tang Clan that I'll tell you here. So Conway raps, if I need a brick cooked, I know the chef like RZA, stacking all this cream, they're trying to inspect the method. So if I need a brick cooked, I know a chef, Raekwon the chef, like RZA, obviously RZA, the Wu-Tang member, stacking all this cream, that's their song, Cream. They trying to inspect the deck, the method, so Method Man. So I love this line. I love Conway's writing it, how he incorporates, 5 different names or double entendres into this one line. So it really shows you the quality of his writing, that he's a lyricist. And the song Tito's Back, featuring Westside Gunn and Benny the Butcher, really shows you the skill and the chemistry that the Griselda team has, because on this song, Conway and Benny the Butcher are rhyming back and forth, kind of like Jadakiss and Styles P did back in the day on songs like We Gon' Make It, where they're passing the rhyme back and forth and basically rhyming off of each other. So I really like that. It really shows you the chemistry and the lyricism of these gentlemen. Westside Gunn is on the song as well, but he's just talking on the song, just kind of, talking about how he's the king of New York, saying different stuff, just bragging basically, which is fine. We didn't get a verse from him, but it's still cool. I kind of like it placed in there. I mean, a verse would be good, but this fits as well with the feeling of the song. I also really like the beat off Tito's Back, produced by Derringer. It feels like a lighter version of the song Sunday School that we got off Benny the Butcher's The Plugs I Met, just with the rolling piano chords and the boom bap drums. So I really like that beat by Derringer as well. And on the song Vino D, featuring Jim Jones, Dave East, El Camino, we get this smooth kind of cruising instrumental that works really well with El Camino singing in the hook. I think I've only heard El Camino singing one hook before, and when I first heard this, I did not recognize him, but it was really good. I was like, who's this singing in the hook? This is really good. Looked on the features, and El Camino wasn't on a verse, so obviously it's him singing. The more and the more I heard it, I could recognize his voice and pick up on his patterns. But anyway, so I really like all the verses on this song. I do think Dave East and Jim Jones kind of stood out the most, though, in their flow to this beat. And once again, I really liked El Camino singing on this song as well. So the songs Hawks and Black Spoons probably stand out the least to me on the whole album. I mean, they're still good, but they don't stand out as much compared to the rest of the unique content on here. I do really like the beat on Black Spoons, produced by DJ Muggs, where we get these weird kind of dark, robotic, muffled sounds going in the background that are really trippy. So I thought this was really cool, a really nice beat. Kind of gets stuck in my head because how weird it is and cool it is. So there's 9 songs of Look What I Became, but 2 of those songs are skits. And the first one is called Rest in Peace Owen, and it's basically a snippet of some wrestling commentary, and it's also a dedication to the Canadian wrestler Owen Hart. So if you don't know about Griselda and their wrestling connection, they're big wrestling fans growing up, so they put a lot of wrestling references in their music, or name songs after wrestlers, or put snippets of old wrestling clips into their music. And then the second skit is called Bell's Palsy, and this is named after the disorder that Conway has, where he's paralyzed in the right side of his face from being shot. This skit basically tells a story of how it happened. Truly sad situation that this happened to him. The one thing I would say that is positive about this horrible situation is that because he has the Bell's palsy, it kind of gives his voice a unique feel to it, because you can kind of hear the pain in his voice in a way, the fact that he can't get it out properly. So obviously it's a horrible situation, but that's one positive aspect that comes out of it. So overall, I really like this album. I was super excited for it, and it definitely delivered. I really like the content. I think it's high quality. I like the versatility of the songs. We got different looks, like the songs You Made It, or the song Half of It, which I really liked. The only things I could really critique about this album and say is the length of it. It's a little bit short, and just the one song Hawks didn't really stand out to me at all. Just didn't really stand out compared to the rest of this unique, great content on here. So I'm still going to give it a high rating. I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10 on this one. Really good album. Versatile for what he did, great content, great features, great beats. I'm super excited for his next one and his official Shady debut. God Don't Make Mistakes coming in October 2019. So this one's September 2019, then we get another one in October. Like I said, Conway is my favorite member of Griselda, and his content's been so good. I'm just so happy we're getting this. And once again, thank you to all the members of Griselda for everything they've been doing, how much music they've been putting out, their consistency, their creativity, never losing quality. You know, I don't know what we would do in underground hip hop without them right now. So just want to say thank you and salute to them. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know in the comments. Tell me about the video. It might not be very good. I'm just getting into this, but definitely check this album out if you do anything. Conway the Machine, look what I became. And I'll see you guys next time for the next review.